What's up, guys? It's Benny. Just a reminder that nobody is above the law. Democrats have said it again and again and again and again. Letitia James is the person who wanted to lock Donald Trump up and bankrupt his family for 400 years, and she's said it many, many times here. She even made a poem about it on Valentine's Day, and she said it like in moments like this. No one is above the law. And so I'm sure nobody's going to have a problem right now that Letitia James has just been indicted for mortgage fraud. Letitia James has lied on her mortgage application. She's defrauded the taxpayers. She claimed multiple residences that were clearly in violation of New York law, Virginia law, federal law. She's defrauded the taxpayers, and she's somebody who's clearly a cheat and a scam artist. Letitia James, ironically enough, has now been indicted, according to CNN, in Virginia for doing the exact same thing that she claimed Donald Trump was doing, which was defrauding the taxpayers with incorrect valuations and paperwork for her real estate. And so this is just the world's greatest moment of irony. It is so sweet, it is so salty, and libs are losing their minds over this. I mean, it's hard for me to not do a little bit of a touchdown victory dance because we told you so. Mike Davis posting this, Mike Davis posting like, hey, listen, we told you so. Like, I told you that we'd put your fat ass in prison. And this is exactly what they did. If you will remember the clip here.
Just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term. Because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time. And we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike. This isn't the same Trump administration. Stop messing around. Don't rig elections. Don't illegally vote. Don't try the funny business, because we know the team this time and they are not effing around.
So it's going to be right. We're going to spike the football on this one. We called it. And more importantly, well, it's happening, right? So for everybody who says nothing ever happens, no, it's happening. Here's Fox News reporting this all out and all of the updates here.
New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted on criminal bank fraud charges. James is being accused of having falsified records to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. We'll keep up with that story as it develops.
There's also a very salty MSNBC reporting on this. They don't want to. They're very angry about this, but they're raging right now. Watch.
Hang on, I'm sorry to interrupt you. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted. Andrew Weissman, your reaction?
I think that I want to sort of address the people who might look at this and say this is sort of tit for tat, that you see that in the Democratic administration, you see them going after Republicans, and this is Republicans going after Democrats. This is where, one, even if two wrongs don't make a right, even if that were true, but this is where facts matter. In the Letitia James case that she brought in New York, there was a trial. Facts were adduced. We all could look at those facts, and Donald Trump had a chance, an opportunity to have due process and to hear all of that. Here, the process by which this has been undertaken, like the process that was undertaken with respect to James Comey, tells you that career people and even Trump-appointed people did not think that there was evidence. There were not facts that justified this. And I think a perfect symbol of the fact that this is different, that what we're seeing is different. It is not normal. It is not everyone does it, is to take a look at Abby Lowell. Abby Lowell is the defense lawyer for Letitia James. He was also the defense lawyer for Hunter Biden. In the Biden administration, the Department of Justice actually charged and convicted the sitting president's son And Abby Lowell represented him and defended him and lost at trial.
Yeah.
And he is now defending Letitia James. And to me, when people say it's tit for tat, it's like, no, in prior administrations, and by the way, Republican and Democratic administrations under normal times, which I agree with Mark are gone, under normal times in those administrations, there is no politics that is supposed to be considered. I'm not saying it's never considered, and there aren't. There's aberrations. No, it's that's not how you're built.
Right. Andrew, let me bring Carol Leonnig back in. Carol Leonnig broke the news today exclusively that a grand jury was hearing evidence against Tish James. We have now heard the news that New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted. Carol Leonnig.
Yeah, a few minutes ago we confirmed that she was indicted by a grand jury in Alexandria of at least one count of bank fraud, Nicole, and the return was rather speedy. 4 o'clock was when the grand jury was supposed to come back out and present their information to Halligan. There was a four-person in the courtroom along with Halligan, and they released their decision. I will tell you there's one other really interesting element to this that I'm hearing from sources, which is that this grand jury made its decision and listened to the presentation on its very first day in the box. In other words, grand juries sit sometimes for weeks and weeks. This grand jury was impaneled today, and this was their first case and their first decision.
And finally, ladies and gentlemen, here's a great breakdown by Ed Martin of Letitia James's crimes. There's no way you're going to get out of this, right? You ain't going to get out of this. Ed Martin saying, no, dude, she's just guilty as hell.
Joining me now in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is the director of the DOJ Weaponization Working Group, Ed Martin. He is investigating the weaponization of government, including Adam Schiff, New York Attorney General Letitia James for mortgage fraud, and the January 6th probe, among others. Ed Martin, great to have you this morning. Thanks very much for being here.
Oh, always a pleasure, Maria.
And Ed, it has really, truly been a decade of dirty tricks, and that's being kind about it, against Donald Trump, beginning with the Russia hoax, to the impeachments, to the indictments, to the Hunter Biden laptop. Assess for us the last 10 years in your view, and you have criminal referrals right now on Adam Schiff, Letitia James, among others. What is the status?
Well, first of all, thanks for asking about the last 10 years. I mean, you know, when Donald Trump came into office as president, he signed an executive order saying, go and find out how government was weaponized against the citizens. When Attorney General Bondi came into office, she put a memo, put more specifics to it, and said, get to the bottom of this. She gave a specific list and a broad charge. And I have to tell you, for your viewers, we have the Attorney General Bondi has that Department of Justice spinning like a top. We've got more stuff going on. A lot of it we can't talk about because of the nature of it, but it's going like crazy. And one of them was, we were in a group, we're still in it, working on the Russia hoax. And Tulsi Gabbard declassified what happened, and she sent it over to us, to DOJ, as a criminal referral, and that's ongoing now. But what that was, and Maria, you're one of the earliest, I think you might be the only person, the only journalist who said early on, this is a Russia hoax. And you know, Brett had President Trump on an interview on that flight to Alaska, and in the interview, President Trump said the Russia hoax was meant to destroy the relationship with Russia, make it impossible to get things under control, get a reset like Hillary said she wanted. So what we have in the Department of Justice now is a weaponization working group and the backing of our leadership to go and find this stuff. And so the Russia hoax, we know the birthday of the Russia hoax. It's December 8th, 2016, where the Obama administration, including Obama, said, don't put the truth out, lie, and ask the media to help us, and the Washington Post and others jumped right in. And then we had the Russia hoax that went on for 10 years. And every time they get in trouble, meaning the deep state and others, they throw another hoax out. And all we're doing at DOJ and all we're doing across the government is saying, get the truth out. And then, by the way, let's hold people accountable. And that's exactly what's going on. So when Bill Pulte sends a criminal referral over to us, and he says Letitia James and Adam Schiff, and by the way, both their lawyers have come out and talked publicly about that criminal referral so you can talk to them about the specifics, because I'm going to tell you what we're going to do is we're going to follow the facts. Every American that has a mortgage or has other documents they sign has to follow the law. We're going to go to the very bottom of the facts, and if somebody did something wrong, we're not only going to hold them accountable, we're also going to look at everything else that they've been doing, because when you're a liar, you lie not just on one thing. When you're a cheater, you cheat not just on one thing. When you're doing corruption, you generally don't just do it on one thing. So that's our what we're asked to do as prosecutors, and that's what we're doing.
And I'm just going to leave you with this Sam Anatar, a dude who has studied Letitia James and her crimes, on my show, saying, listen, there is no doubt Letitia James is going to prison. She's guilty. Will she go to prison? I guess we'll find out.
There was a video that went viral last week of a reporter for the Daily Caller wandering up to these homes in Virginia. Drove out there, and not too happy, the residents of these homes. They were enraged, actually. They were yelling and screaming, and they definitely were not Letitia James. You can hear them on the tape here. We'll just play like a couple of seconds of it.
Hi there. I'm a reporter with the Daily Caller News Foundation.
Goodbye. You're trespassing.
I'm sorry.
Trespassing. My kids are out here.
I understand. We mean no trouble. We're just curious who the occupants of the home are,
Don't
because
worry
there's
about whose occupants. That's none of your business.
well
Okay, Sam.
connections. There are connections. We mean no trouble. We're just.
I'm not sure. Audio off, please. Thank you. Mute it. I'm not sure. You're not trespassing by standing on a sidewalk. We do this all the time, actually.
And by the way, myself and Joel Gilbert, another researcher who's done very, very good work in this case also, visited her residence in Brooklyn, that's Virginia, on Sunday, took video, and it's going to be out he's going to have it out by tomorrow or today. We went to the property. We examined in other words, we went to the scene of the crime, actually, and we examined the property, and that's where we found 5 doorbells for 5 units. In addition, I've examined Con Edison documents that show 5 electrical services for 5 units, and of course, you have the certificate of occupancy. The evidence speaks for itself. When she's trying to say, well, it was always 4, listen, the governing document, as any competent lawyer is going to tell you, is a certificate of occupancy. And she wants to say, well, it's an accident, it's a mistake. Oh, okay, give back all the money you saved from the mortgage companies. Okay, because of the false underwriting that you took out. You were in default on every single one of those, every single outstanding mortgage today, she's in default on because it contains material omissions.
Just really quickly here, Sam, how cooked is Letitia James? Should we expect the handcuffs that we've seen on various high-ranking Democrat officials across the country happening last week? Should we expect that? I mean, will we actually get the handcuff moment here with Letitia James?
I don't know what will happen. I can't predict the future. Yeah. But all I can say is whether or not they handcuff her, she's guilty. The evidence shows that she's guilty. Most likely they are going to handcuff her, and most likely they are going to arrest her, and most likely they are going to indict her. But irrespective of that, the documentation speaks for itself. And if they can't bring a case against them, shame on them. They suffer the humiliation. I stand behind all of the research that I've done, and all of the research that I've done shows that she's guilty of mortgage fraud, violating New York state financial disclosure statutes, mail fraud, wire fraud, whatever you want to call it. I'm not a lawyer, but she is guilty. She is guilty of signing documents that contain false information that she financially benefited from, and she can't get out of that.